exploring space tourism, hardware nostalgia, and the science of weightlessness.
I said, you know what? That just shows you how good lawyers we are, that people find us. They look for us and they find us. You know, there's several stories that are big today. I definitely want to get into this El Salvador thing, and I want to I didn't say this right before we started. I do want to talk about all of the violence coming from the left, at least threats of it. But I'm fascinated by the Blue Orgy thing. It was like Six Flags on steroids. You know what I'm saying? And you pay a really good pass.
The Texas shootout at Six Flags.
Yes, but you know how you can get a pass where if you got money, you can get a pass where you cut to the front.
Yeah.
And so basically these people paid $300,000 to cut to the front of this Blue Orgy thing. Now, that's done by, again, that's Bezos. That's the guy that owns Amazon, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So he's not trying to become the first person to Mars. He's trying to become the first one to have Six Flags over space. Is that what we got going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. Space tourism.
Just cross the edge of space, 62 miles up. Up and
Do we
down.
know if there were 7 women on board, right?
I believe so, including his girlfriend.
Was there 2 other crew members who flew it?
Nobody flew it. They were passengers.
No. But there were 2. There was a pilot and a, actual astronauts. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, they're there supervising and ready to take over button pushing if necessary.
What's this button for?
So they go over that.
Anyway,
no, it's interesting that they call it the Estrogen Express.
They did. I don't know.
All right, so how long?
I think it was the girlfriend express mainly. Anyway.
All right, the only part of that would have been fun to be. Didn't you say they got up to like 2,000 miles an hour?
Yeah, that's the main rocket boosters stay lit for, I think, 2.5 minutes, maybe a little bit more, less than 3 minutes. And then main engine cut off. At that moment, they're at 2,000 miles per hour heading straight up. And they have enough velocity at that point to make it past the 62-mile mark, which brings them into the internationally agreed Kármán line that says you are now in the edge of space, the beginning of space, outside of most of the Earth's atmosphere. And then they're slowing down, and then they're falling back down. And so that period of time when they no longer have thrust, they feel weightless, and they're slowing down at a steady rate, and then they're starting to fall, and they pick up speed at a steady rate. And that entire top of that loop, slowing down, stopping, and dropping, is the weightless experience that lasts about, I think, just under 4 minutes. The total ride from blast off to touch back down within a few miles of where they took off is 11 minutes.
Well, let me ask you this. If you were a baseball and it was a pop-up, and it looks like when it gets to the top, it almost looks weightless at that point.
It is. Actually, the ball feels weightless once it leaves touch of the bat. It feels weightless at that point because it no longer has anything pushing it. That bat, when it pops it and no longer touches it, it does not have a new additional thrust. It's already gained all of its velocity that it's going to have. Just like a bullet coming out of the barrel of a gun. Once it leaves the barrel of the gun, its push force is done.